I liked how Bridget, you were talking about hiding in clothing racks at department stores, and I would do the same thing, but not to the point of like trying to irritate my mom. You know, it sounds like you were doing it as an intentional prank.
Yes, I was hiding and seeking. That's what we were doing. I just didn't tell her. I was just gone.
N-
So she would like she would have them shut down the store as they searched for me. And I'm like, can't find me.
Not non-consensual hide and seek.
Yeah, so much. I was just talking about because of course I was watching Monster House with the kids and Scarlett was like, Bones is the worst. She did
Bones
not. She
is
was like,
the
he
worst.
yeah,
Yeah,
she was like, I don't like him. He sucks. And I was like, yeah, you're right. He does. But I was saying that like she wasn't afraid of the movie. We watched it last year with her. She's not afraid of it. And I was saying that she watched it without us knowing it while we watched it when she was like 4, was not faced, but is afraid of the dark. And I was like, but she was also afraid of like, characters and like the big head performers with people in them. She was like very untrusting of those things. And then we were just talking about how we were like, every kid goes through the phase where they're like afraid of Santa and the Easter Bunny. And I was like, oh yeah, like I was like that. And Philip was saying that when he was younger, he was like, oh, I was anxious. Like I was like clinging to my parent. Not I'm not playing that. And I was like, oh no, I was like hiding in clothes racks because I liked to terrorize my parents in public.
gotcha.
I also, yeah, I did it at home too. My mom said I'd like hide under the bed and I would, or not under the bed, under the cover. And I was so small that you wouldn't see me if I didn't move. And I would just hide there. My mom almost called the cops one time because she thought I ran away.
Did,
So I'm a trickster. I don't know.
did your son watch Monster House?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
watching it in there.
Okay.
He wasn't super concerned, but sometimes he like gets afraid of like if there's like ghosts on Paw Patrol, he'll like run in there and he's like, Mom, boo, and he acts all scared. And I'm like, that's really cute, but why? Why are you afraid of that?
So I was a lot more upset by like suspense and just really high stakes situations that more so than like graphic imagery or anything like that. So like I remember having to leave the theater seeing the movie Deep Impact as a kid because the notion of this oncoming, meteor that's about to hit planet Earth was just too much for me to handle.
You're like Armageddon? I think not.
I'm not going to be here for this. Yeah.
And maybe it's like, and maybe that is like some kids are like the physical being of something scary is scary to them, like being able to see it, and then other people are like, oh no, the impending doom is too much.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of that. I don't know. I feel like that about maybe both things sometimes. It just depends. My
Mhm.
anxiety is a lot worse now that I'm an adult. So
I don't think it isn't worse for me, but it's just more um, like I'm more conscious of it,
yeah,
certainly.
maybe that's what it is. I didn't realize that I was anxious, but now that I'm older, especially with like kids, I'm constantly like, this isn't good. They're gonna get stolen. I'm anxious all the time. In stores, I
Mhm.
understand where my mom was coming from when I was a kid though, because I thought I was just being funny in the clothes racks. But my kids go around a corner and then I come around the corner and they're gone. And I'm like, where are you? Where are you at? Because I'm like, you never know, man. Being an adult,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
yeah.
you really know, you realize, like, oh, yeah, everything makes me spicy now. That's great.
I love spicy. You can't really get too spicy for me. The capsaicin, what do they call that? There's a scale. I can't do words. I've almost fell asleep just before getting on the microphone. So I had like a blood sugar crash earlier. So I'm just like on my third wind right now. Um,
I can feel that.
I would rather you not. I hope people can still find this episode listenable and not, be put to sleep. I mean, I guess that's always a plus if you're kind of, ASMR putting people to,
You're
at
like, here,
least in
let
a
me
state of
tap the microphone. Yes, you're getting
oh,
sleepy.
state of relaxation. Yeah. I'll come back with the capsaicin level thing, but I should start the episode on the
Okay.
Thodcast while we are in the midst of the episode, as I'm want to say. but Thoughtcast, this is, I think, officially episode 109 now. Our discussion on the film Monster House, Thoughtcast conversations about animation. I'm your host, Philip Elke. And of course, today we're joined from the great state of Georgia. Bridget and Alex are here. I'm here in northern Minnesota. And it's Monster House from the year 2006. It was a July release, although the film is set on Halloween. So fun times. On the second time, we're discussing a movie based on, or basically set during Halloween, but not released around that time. But it was a fun one. Yeah, you guys discuss.
What was the other one released around not a good time?
Okay, I guess
Hocus
technically
Pocus was released in July.
the original Hocus Pocus.
The original, yeah.
Yeah.
Was
And it was a theatrical release.
Oh, okay.
Well, you want to know what it would have gone up against if it released in Halloween of that year?
I would love to know.
A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
So they were like, no. We're gonna do this in July.
we're gonna do that one.
Oh, are we?
What one?
You want to cram it
The
in?
first. Oh, Nightmare for Christmas. Yes.
Yeah, Nightmare
Oh,
for
yes.
Christmas. You want to cram it in?
We might do it coming up. We'll see.
We
We'll
can do it
talk.
at Christmas. Actually, we don't have to
Oh.
cram it in.
Well,
Yeah, you can
that's
do
one-
it at any time. It's a Halloween
It's
Christmas
at
movie.
any time. That's really interesting to know that that's what they would have been going up against, though, huh? Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's forgiving of procrastination is what Nightmare Before Christmas is.
That's my whole life. So like, I love it for them.
Okay, yeah, that's just the Scoville scale. That's what I was trying to think of. The Scoville heat units.
With the spiciness.
Yeah, spicy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, eat jalapenos.
I was thinking of ghost peppers.
Ghost pepper. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah. Ooh, ghost peppers. Very spicy. Spooky.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
Okay. I have thoughts on this movie. Do we want to do like before thoughts and then like go into the movie, or like how do we want to do it?
yeah, if you got some context you want to
I do.
start
I
off
do.
with?
But
Yeah.
I don't like Bridget. Like you missed last week, so you want to start?
Okay. Yeah. What was Scary Godmother? There was one thing I wanted to bring up related to that, but
Oh, please, good God,
it.
please.
Do it.
no, you go with what you're, because this ties into something we'll discuss later on with Monster House as well. So I don't know if Bridget, you wanted to chime in on Scary Godmother or anything like that.
Oh man, it's a classic.
Mhm.
The animation, obviously, you compare it to stuff now, and I'm like, the animation is really wonky. And why were all of their eyes so small?
I love the wonkiness of the animation. And
I do too.
I think you listened to the podcast that we just did to even bring up the eyes.
Oh no, I didn't get to listen yet.
All right.
I suck. Sorry, I haven't listened to it
That
yet.
was literally the first thing we
Hot
discussed.
topic.
Oh, really?
Of the podcast. Oh yeah.
No, because some of the characters have those tiny little beady eyes, and then some of them have real eyes. And I was watching it, and I was like, that was like a choice when they made
Yeah.
these characters, because why?
was.
Why
Yeah.
are all their eyes so weird?
This
Yeah.
is choice, definitely that. We talked about that. Yes.
Is that it? Was that the whole podcast? Just the eyes?
You
You're like,
guys
"All right,
know,
that's it."
you guys know those old British kids books, the Roger Hargreaves, Mr. Men, Little Miss, Mr. Happy, Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Bump, isn't he one who's like wrapped in bandages? Most of those characters don't have sclera. It's just the black eye dots.
Yeah.
Except for a few that have glasses. And there's one character who just randomly does have like normal eyes, eye whites, aka sclera, and that's Mr. Sneeze. And I was always really drawn to him. Not only does he have sclera, he has no hands, he has no arms. Who's the most bizarre? And I think there might be a couple others, and I think there have been more since like I was a kid that have even come out. But just yeah, there's certain things, certain properties, franchises where like certain characters randomly have just dotted eyes, and it's not even necessarily a thing where it's just the background characters either. Sometimes it's named main characters. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they obviously had to give him actual eyes because they didn't give him hands. They were like, you know
Yeah.
what? We're not gonna give you hands. You get eyes. Real
Yeah,
eyes.
get something. One of those.
We gotta make you
Yeah.
not as weird. So you get eyes.
Yeah. I mean, Disney Animation, like famously, for some of their films, they didn't have whites in the eyes in when they're trying to cut costs, sort of during the Xerox era. The Rescuers, the original,
That's the reason, huh?
Bianca and
Pretty
what's the male Bernard? They don't have.
Bernard and Bianca, yep.
Yeah, just to save on animation costs. And Don Bluth criticized Disney Animation for doing that. So he made sure that his mice characters had eye whites in Secret of NIMH and American Tail. So kind of a fun little anecdote. And then for Rescuers Down Under, they did have normal looking eyes. So it's one thing they corrected.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it was really cute. I didn't have to force my kids, but I was like, hey, this is what we're watching. It's really fun because I get to make all the decisions because I'm like, I have a podcast. You have to watch it. The end.
That's
No
why,
argument.
yeah, it's hard for me to watch anything now if I don't have like a
reason
podcast,
to watch it. Yeah.
something to recontextualize. Yeah, exactly.
That's how I am too. And like I've honestly been very grateful of the things that we have decided to watch because it's not stuff that I would have normally picked up on. Like I've seen Monster House like when it came out. I saw it and then I never probably thought about it again, but then watching it today, I was like, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
I would watch this. Like
it's a Halloween classic. You have to watch it. It's so good.
Well, see, it was not a classic to me. Like, it's not a Halloween classic to me because, like, I watched it as a child, and then I was like, okay, I watched it. Like, okay, great. Like, got it, watched it, and then I watched it today, and I was like, this shit's kind of funny. Oh, am I allowed to say bad words? I'm sorry.
I mean, it's just keep it, relatively PG.
Keep it PG.
PG-ish. You should be able to.
This stuff's kind of funny.
You used to get away with saying SHIT a lot more in PG films up until like the mid 90s or late, and then like PG is now basically G. There are
it is. So I'm so sorry. Cut that out. Okay, rewind.
No. I'll probably leave it in because it's just once. It's like, yeah, and
then you got to leave in us making fun of you.
Keep it in, double in. Let's see.
You have to put a content warning on this one.
No, it's,
content warning. One curse.
I'm gonna keep these. We're talking about kids movies. I'm gonna keep these clean if possible.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't
No, I'm not. That's not a scolding of you. It's just.
It was though.
No, it's not. No.
Okay.
The first time you've been on how many episodes? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you made it this far. Good job. Well, hey, this ties in perfectly to Monster House though. Because it surprisingly
wasn't it?
Yeah, it surprisingly had adult things that I did not catch when I watched it. Because 2006, I was like a freshman in high school. So I'm like, I didn't catch it then. Yeah, freshman in high school. Look at that face.
Just doxing each other left, right.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, Bridget's old.
I am. I'm 31. But hey, I still look young enough to be a princess, and that's all that matters. I'm young at heart. But yeah, I watched it. It was by beginning of high school, and even then, I don't think I caught like the her being a girl house. I didn't even catch that. But then, of course, I watched the trailer the other day, and that was one of the parts they showed, and I was like, no, no. And of course, Scarlett was like, what does that mean? And I was like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about
that. They spoiled it in the trailer. That's kind of odd. It's such a good joke.
Yeah, I watched. I don't even remember why I watched the trailer. I maybe just
because we were gonna do it.
Yeah, I guess I was like, I just watched the trailer. I think maybe I was trying to find where it was to watch.
I actually had to end up watching this on Roku TV. I actually ended up watching this and it was free to watch on Roku TV. I thought it was on Disney Plus, but when I tried to search it on my TV, my smart TV, my smart IMDb pulled up Hulu, which I
It's
thought
free
I
on
have, but
Prime.
I haven't logged into that yet, Bridget.
So
Thank you.
I
what
gave you my password.
yeah, what technically like to watch it free? Well, oh, Amazon owns IMDb now, and
It's Prime. Yeah.
IMDb is in association with. They used to have like a IMDb streaming app, but it's now called Freevee. So Monster House is on Freevee, and
Oh,
so
I saw that pop up and I was like, I've never heard of this, so I was not gonna try and download it because I thought it was like
It's
I did it popped up as
It's also
Hulu.
on Hulu. Yeah.
Yeah, it popped up
Huh.
Hulu with subscription, but for some reason my living room TV won't do Hulu anymore because the person subscription I was using, quote unquote, hasn't paid for that. Shout out my mom's boyfriend, paid for that.
so I use a Roku TV as well, and thankfully it has.
I used Roku to watch this, but the Freevee showed up and I was like, what is this? I've never
Huh.
heard of it. So that is the new like thing.
Well,
Yeah.
it. I think it used to be like IMDb. It was something.
That was the free option for me to
Yeah.
watch this movie on, which I was surprised about. I do have Hulu, but for some
Mhm.
reason my living room TV won't do Hulu, but my bedroom TV will, and I did watch it in living room. So I did the Roku TV because I was like, I had Hulu, Roku, and the Freevee, and I was like, I don't know what Freevee is, but I know that I can watch on Roku. So
Yeah, I mean,
we'll also watch it on Prime.
well, guess what? It did not show up because I don't have that logged in on my TV.
it's all a tangled web of like apps and
Trying to stream
aggregators.
stuff these
Well,
days,
yeah, because
like a
Roku is
struggle.
it's just a aggregator like Apple TV. There is a Roku app as well that
Mhm.
that has its own stuff on it. And then yeah, Freevee is just one of the apps you can download within Roku, or like I don't have it downloaded on my TV yet. So I just watched it through Prime. I recently watched something on Crackle.
Oh, yeah.
Tubi.
How did that work? Crackle.
You just got to search the apps on your Roku
Yeah.
and download.
Sometimes they pops up on Crackle, but I don't think I've ever used anything on Crackle. But have you found things
If I'm
beneficial on there?
I'll just Google something and it'll usually tell me if it's streaming free somewhere. Crackle, Pluto TV, or yeah.
I love Pluto. Stop. I love Pluto. I'm Pluto
But-
biggest fan right here. Like sponsor the podcast just for me because I'm the biggest fan of Pluto.
I love the tech talk here, but
I know we gotta move on. We gotta move on because I only have I have like 30 minutes.
And honestly, yeah, this movie is a brisk 90 minutes. You're kind of in and out. It's pretty basic premise. Like you don't want to read too deep. My mind was kind of taking off sort of CinemaSins style as I was watching
Yeah.
this. But you're not supposed to. I did watch the CinemaSins review of this, and it was kind of funny. I used to watch a bunch of CinemaSins, but
Oh, we
They-
watch it weekly
Okay.
because my husband's really into it and I got
it's
into
so
it and now we watch
hacky.
them.
It's
They're
so
they're so funny.
but it
though,
is funny.
sometimes.
Some of the bits I genuinely love, like the Prometheus school of running away from things. That's
Yes,
great.
or my thing now, and when I watch movies, I literally like think of it in the way that they talk about things. So anytime I see someone eating an apple, I'm like, there it is. They're eating an
Yeah.
apple.
But if you actually buy into that style of criticism, you're only just shooting yourself in the foot in your ability to like actually critically assess, art and film.
Yeah.
Because it's so rudimentary and basic. It's basically just like YouTube hack, roast comedian level of criticism where you're just nitpicking everything, and that's not what CinemaSins is supposed to be. Although I think the writers do kind of have that a bit too much of that sensibility, which is why I kind of stopped watching it, because it's like this is getting too much into sort of the nitpick territory rather than just
Yeah.
like we're making hilarious jokes as if we're these nitpick reviewers who don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, and believe me, I've watched the ones where they do like some of my favorite movies, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, it's just they're fun to watch. Because we also watch I Hate Everything. I don't know if you've watched
Oh,
him.
I've seen some
I
good
love
stuff.
him. He's very funny.
That does venture in a little too far on sort of the hack
Yeah.
roaster. But
Yeah.
one channel I unironically genuinely love is Red Letter Media, and they're the masters of roast criticism. Like they'll review schlock, and they genuinely love a lot of like schlocky stuff too. But and they're just very detached when they diss things, because they know it's like we're just some guys on YouTube talking crap about this stuff that, you know, maybe isn't very good quality, but it's like we're no better because we're just these,
Yeah.
you know, YouTubers, you know, complaining about this stuff. So it's like who are we, you know, to
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we watch Search for the Worst, and he's the same way. He'll watch like all the
Best of the
hacky,
worst,
like
right? Oh wait,
yeah.
no, search
Well, no, Search for the Worst.
That's I Hate Everything.
Yeah. He does. Well, he does all the like all the straight to DVD
There's the knockoffs
movies that they made based on other, yeah, or they're like, they say that it's like Brave basically, and then it's like some weird story that's not even related. So yeah, we watch those just for fun sometimes, because
Yeah.
they're amusing.
and those are totally prime for utter demolition, because their entire existence is based on kind of this fraud that's perpetuated on consumers. Although some people say that about the entire entertainment industry.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Monster House.
So it's a follow-up to the Polar Express. Image Movers Digital, they're a CGI animation company, responsible, founded by Robert Zemeckis, you know, and they produce live action films too. But Zemeckis, famed film director of Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Romancing the Stone, Forrest Gump, millions. He has a, you know, endless, you know, gold mine of, you know, resources to pull from if he ever wants to make any project he wants. So he's gone on to make a lot of technically advanced things like Polar Express, pioneering performance capture, things like that. So that's where this movie stems from ultimately. But he did not direct. He teamed up with Spielberg for the first time since the Back to the Future franchise in order to fund the films. Distributed by Columbia Pictures, the first, their first and last, I think, until Sausage Party animated film that wasn't produced by Sony Animation. And then
for good reason.
I mean, this would also be followed up from Image Movers by Beowulf and you know, Polar, or not, Christmas Carol, Mars Needs Moms, etc.
I forgot if that movie existed. Sorry. I was tickled. I forgot that movie existed.
Most recently, Pinocchio. But
all
that,
I need to watch that. I need to watch it.
I still haven't watched it. Yeah. Well, I was scared because Philip was like, not worth. And I was like, okay, guess I'll just get to it when I get to it.
We'll just wait for the podcast.
Yeah. Like
we have to.
Like some of these things, I'm like, well, maybe I won't watch it unless Philip tells me to.
if we're having a slow month, we'll see. But yeah, I want to talk
I
about the
didn't
first
wanna watch
Pinocchio.
it, but you said it sucked, and so now I don't.
It's not good. If it puts you to sleep, I say, well, all the better, because that at least means it's relaxing.
ASMR.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, are you guys familiar with like the Uncanny Valley? Are you guys familiar with that?
Oh, that's Philip's favorite.
We talked about it
Yeah.
on Scary God. Like that movie
really?
has such, it has such a specific style. Scary Godmother does, you know, the TV sort of low poly animation, you know, is not a lot of texture. This does something similar, where it's not as like realistically textured and sculpted as other film, like the Polar Express character models that are supposed
Yeah.
to look kind of like human
Things are
beings.
Polar Express was
frightening.
scary. I'm sorry. That was
Yeah,
scary.
it's like they tried to make them like look enough like people, but they don't, and they look weird. And so I was watching it, and I was like, man, this is like Uncanny Valley vibes, real
Yeah.
hard because they
I
look
liked
weird.
Monster House. I felt like the animation.
No,
in
I
Monster
like
House
it. I just
really was good. I feel like
weird.
I felt like it wasn't uncomfortable to look at.
This and Scary Godmother tend to avoid the Uncanny Valley, much
Yeah,
more
I
so
thought
than.
so as well. Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I was like, they really like, and I do like the animation because I mean, I like the movie, but I was like, I think they did well, but I'm like, they look so much like people, but not like real people that
Mhm.
it's weird.
It makes my body feel like tingly.
You're like, this is
I
a weird
see
feeling.
things like that. It's like a texture thing, like when you eat like avocado, but that's like not guacamole, and then your body like rejects like the feeling. I don't know if that makes sense, but like that's why I feel
I know what
sometimes
you mean. I don't like regular avocado
when
either.
I see things, I'm like my body like feels like it's trying to come out of itself. But I do not feel that way with this movie. I feel like Monster House really was obviously it's not an animation that is common of these times. However, it wasn't like it didn't make me want to like skin myself alive. So
Well, I will say it was better than Polar Express because Polar Express was nightmare fuel.
Polar
Those
Express
people looked weird.
makes
I
my
did not
toes
like.
curl just even thinking about it. Like I'm trying to like retract.
Oh,
So.
Polar Express for Christmas time. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna
let's
be
do
something
it.
in the future.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I randomly saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit on TV, and I think my sister and my dad were also watching at the same time. I was really young, and it was the scene where the villain is revealed, and that's a really disturbing scene if you're not prepared for it. Of course, yeah, Bob Zemeckis, the director, and he would go on to produce this. And that there's also a connection with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where Kathleen Turner, she portrays Jessica Rabbit in that film. Uh, and here in Monster House, she plays Constance.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. The
Well, that's
contrast.
like
Did not have a big role, so I mean, she did not have a big speaking role.
But she does the performance and the voice of Constance.
Yeah, but I feel like Constance's voice role was minute.
She's good friends with Robert Zemeckis, and like they got just a whole star-studded cast because of his pull, basically.
So
Yeah.
so Constance, wait, are we allowed to do spoilers already?
I mean, we're probably
Is
more
it
than
too
halfway
soon?
through. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert full for
I mean,
Monster
it
House.
came out in 2006. They should have
Yeah.
watched
Yeah,
it by
can
now.
I spoiler alert like 9 years later? I don't know. It's probably way more than 9 years. I have no concept of
It
time.
is way more than 9 years.
So
Yeah.
so
So-
spoiler alert.
I can't even think. 20, no, it's 16. Yeah.
There
Go,
you
go ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
Boop boop boop. Okay. The only thing I could remember about this movie from the first time so I've only seen it once. And the only thing I could remember about this movie was that the house was the wife, and that the man was not really the villain that they tried to make him out to be at the beginning. That he was just trying to protect everyone, and that so the only thing I can remember was that the house was like the woman. The man was not really that bad of a man. He was just trying to be protective. And then like that was pretty much it that I could remember. I just remembered it being like the man wasn't as bad as like they tried to make it seem, and that like the woman was the house. But then also I'm sure we'll talk about it, that like made me remember things about this movie, like they like blew up the house. And why did they do that when they knew there was people inside? Like I cannot ever figure that out.
because they thought they were dead.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
They thought the house ate them, so they're like, well, they're dead. They're
And
fine.
they still, I mean, but hey, the toys were still out, and they were not even like, what happened to these people? They're like, let's give this girl her tricycle, and here's your basketball with your name on it. But they were not like, where's
Where's Bones?
where's Bones? Like they
Where's
didn't
the cops?
They not
This-
where? Okay, wait.
yeah.
We never even figured out where the cops were. Did we? Or did I just?
No,
miss-
they come out at the end. They were in
No,
the basement with
Bones come
Bones.
out at the end.
No,
Did
the
you
cops
get
do too. The
Did
cops
you
do
get
too.
alternate ending? Because the only ending I saw was Bones coming out and being.
No, they all come out.
No,
they
I
all come
only
out at
saw
the end.
Bones.
Hey,
She's like, I
so
missed it. I
here's
turned it
the
off.
thing. Yeah, there's a few
There's an
different.
after scene.
There's several. Like I think they come together in close succession, but there might be a few like credits over black screen.
Yeah,
That
I think it's during the credits.
Oh, I only
yeah,
saw
it's-
Bones come out at the end, and then the credits started, and that's when I was like, "Bye."
I only remember him coming out too, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bones
the-
comes out, and then there's like
yeah.
more credits, and then the cops come out to go
Oh,
investigate
I never
Candy.
saw the cops come out. The only
Yeah.
thing I was like so worried about, I was like, how are they not going to address the fact that like people got like eaten by this house, and that like they blew up this house? And then,
yeah, and that
like
was
what happened to the people inside, and then Bones comes out right before the credits start,
Yeah.
and then there's like nothing, and like that's my fault for I guess like not watching.
You
the-
know, it's like a Marvel movie. You have to stay for the 10 credit scene.
Oh, see, I wouldn't know that.
And they didn't do that in those Spider-Man.
well, yeah. That was when I first saw this movie. I only remembered Bones surviving from it, but of course the assumption would be the other people who were eaten probably survived as
But
well.
also
If he
as
did.
well.
The dog survived as well.
But this time I saw it all this time. Yes. Yeah, the dog.
The dog
was
lives.
last.
It comes out and pees on like a pumpkin.
Y'all didn't tell me I need to watch the credits.
I mean, you didn't miss much.
No, they just
Well,
live.
everybody gets out. That's all that matters.
She's like, I need to know that they lived.
Yeah. Well, I don't care if they did or not. I just like, did they address it? If they did, like, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So they
I
did
mean,
come out. Okay.
Yeah, regardless, they still blew up that house, not knowing. So
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about that as well. The thing about the blowing up of the house, he was like, take this dynamite and light it. But you know what? He threw the dynamite into the chimney where the fire was lit. So why do they have to light it anyways? He could have
it
just
doesn't mean
thrown-
it'll light.
he
there's a
could have
chance.
just he was throwing it into a fire. He could have just thrown the dynamite straight down the chimney, but he was like, no.
I guess there's just
light
extra,
it.
extra.
Like it was just really dramatic, that whole scene to me
Yeah.
personally.
I
But
don't know.
he
Alex, our
could've just-
pyrotechnics expert.
Oh, no, but like, come on. Obviously, like they were like, the fire's been going, the smoke in the chimney. It's the heart. Right?
Yeah, I think anytime dynamite's exposed to fire, it'll explode.
They
Maybe
could've
Well,
not. Maybe
Put it
not.
right
Well-
down the chimney, but they were like,
But
no,
she-
light
the
it and
house
put it in
controls it.
there.
The house controls the fire, though. Isn't there a chance that she could just stop it?
Exactly.
But she wouldn't know that it was being dropped in the chimney when they were like swinging from like the excavator.
Maybe.
I mean, she was a walking house, so there's really any possibility.
It's
That was
weird
Walking House.
to be attributing the villainous monster character to this, Constance character, because it's like, does it make sense that she would become this homicidal raging
She
monster?
was the villain. She had been the whole time. That's exactly it.
Why is she so aggressive though in the afterlife?
Because they
he
made fun of
rescued
her.
He rescued her from the fair, and he said, "I'm gonna like take you away and like give you like this life." And then when he's trying to give her this life, it's not yet complete. But
Mm.
the kids on Halloween night are like
Being
effing
mean.
with her,
Mm,
and then then she's angry. And she's
okay.
how could they do this? And then that's when everything like starts, where she's just angry about anybody being in her vicinity that should not be, because they were like, she was able to get away and they ruined it for her.
Sure.
That's how I got it. Like
Mhm.
Yeah, like
She
she was
fin-
justified in being angry to me.
finally got away, but then
Okay.
it was still not like picture perfect for her because like obviously she was, you know, a circus lady who was being used as entertainment, and that's probably like not what she wanted. And so someone comes along and said, I will take you away and like I will give you a life. And he did, and he tried
Yeah.
to do that, but then she just felt like she was still a spectacle.
That
And
type of, yeah, how is she being, locked up in a cage? In what era is that supposed to, I feel like that couldn't have really happened post 1930s.
Well, he was in
uh,
that house for 45 years.
Yeah.
that still happens now,
So-
Philip, because I accidentally paid to go see the smallest woman in the world at the fair.
I mean,
was
yeah,
it a real person?
Yeah, she was. And this was like 2 years ago, but like I know it still happens. But then I was like, I want to see her. And then I saw her and I was like, I felt like disgusted. I was like, wait, like this is real. And you guys ever seen like American Horror Story, like
Yeah.
circus?
Hmm.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was literally like this woman was like pretty much like in like a fish tank, and she like
Yeah.
small, tiny woman like knitting, and I was like, I'm disgusted with myself. So like this still does happen, and I will
Yeah,
never do it again. But if I do, I will just put her in my purse and walk away.
it's not
He
so
said, I'm going
much.
to take the biggest bag that I have and I'm going to put her in it.
Exactly. Like I cannot believe like so
Yeah.
yes, like using people as like a quote unquote freak show type thing, like it's not an old thing. Like it's
Hmm.
currently happening because
Okay.
I was I accidentally did pay
Yeah,
$2
it was
for
more
a
just that
woman.
she was kept in that cage car like Dumbo's mom. But
That's what
maybe
they do for these carnies. Oh, I don't know what
That's probably not a good term.
but the whole like
maybe a carny
em-
can correct me. I don't know.
enslavement element of it, like, but
No, it's
maybe
happened.
but here's the thing, she probably attacked like some of the patrons or something, and she's being put in that cage as a punishment, like
No,
Dumbo's mom.
that's just where they keep the that's just where they keep
You
like
can't
the
do that
entertainment.
nowadays, like,
well, no,
No,
well, this
they
was
do. I'm telling you, they do. They don't. They're not treated as people, and so she probably, in her environment as an entertainment source, was not treated as a person. And then this person comes along saying, "I can get you away from here," and she's like, "Yes." And then the first night she's like trying to build her house, she's also not treated as a person,
mhm.
and is like angry, and then stays angry for the rest of her life.
There's a
And
lot of
like
weird
I
stuff
don't
out there.
blame
Yeah.
her. Like I also would also be the same because
Mhm.
like
well, I would say, I mean, if it had been 45 years of him living in that house since she had died, I mean, that would have been like the late 50s, early 60s. So, I mean, there would have been a chance that she could have been like kind of like captive or like at least like stuck in a freak show type place.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems to be set in the 80s. I
Oh,
don't
wait,
think
well, then
it's
even earlier, like probably like
yeah,
the 40s.
yeah,
I
if
was thinking like
anybody- if
2000.
anybody knows it's gonna be
I
it's gonna be
googled.
Philip. What's the timeline of this?
Well,
You're
I
gonna
googled when is Monster House set, and the response was 1983. But
Okay.
it also seems like it takes place over a week, like it's Halloween is on a Saturday, and that would mean 1987 is when those dates would line up. So I that makes more sense. I don't know. I was sort of thrown off by the fact that Chowder paid $28 for a basketball in the 80s. Like, that seems
Not
hot,
a bit,
very
not
steep.
much.
that thing would have been $5. What are you talking about?
Well, if it's like a pro
It's a Wilson though. Come on.
regulation, yeah, basketball. Wilson, on reference to another Robert Zemeckis film, of course, Castaway. Wilson the volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah.
Oh, well, Chowder's dad was a doctor or like a pharmacist, right?
I
So
work
he
at
might
the
have
pharmacy.
money. Yeah, he might have money.
But
He's
they
a
wouldn't
pharmacist.
have been that expensive
Oh yeah,
at
yeah.
that time and age.
I mean, probably I don't either, unless it's like signed by somebody or
And
something. but-
also, it was a very well used basketball because his name was written on the ball. If you guys did not notice,
Yeah.
Chowder was written on the
It was
Wilson
well
basketball.
cared for. But yeah, I think, yeah, you could probably and end up paying, depending on the quality, $25 plus tax for
How much is a basketball these days?
have
I
no
think a
idea.
regulation like leather Wilson ball is probably around $40 now. So
Great.
that's not too bad.
Inflation,
Inflation.
baby.
Got it. I understand now.
So
Gotcha.
a Wilson NBA DRV Pro basketball at Walmart is $27.97.
Okay.
You can get
Oh.
an $80 Wilson basketball at Dick's. So
Oh, wow.
I guess it just depends on the level of basketball you need.
Mhm.
Well, Chowder was not a basketball player, so he probably just got like the basic one, huh?
Whatever a $25
Unless
plus tax basketball was.
Well, he said he mowed all the lawns and asked his
1987.
mom for money $1 26 times.
Getting
Yeah,
only
that means
paid.
that he got the now $80 ball.
Yeah, was
He
it-
Clearly.
got the
The
Did he
top
say
one.
raking leaves, like raking yards?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I raked all the yards and I asked my mom for $1 26 times. And like that was so funny because I also asked my mom for $1
Yeah,
26
that's
times.
not a lot for chores, but yeah. And nowadays it wouldn't be
Well,
hardly
I'm
anything.
assuming he said that because he was getting paid for the yard work in addition to asking his mom for $1. Like he was getting paid on this set end.
Yeah, I think we established that.
and
But no, he
My bad.
we know how kids getting paid for yard work. I think we've all been in that situation.
he does not need that much money for his little basketball though.
I'm just, it's
He
definitely
had to buy
shows-
that monster mask for Halloween.
That's true. That would have been a pretty
it
penny.
shows his initiative.
Oh, can we talk about the fact that DJ's dad almost runs him over with a car? In
Well,
the beginning,
it-
he like just straight up hits the kid and he's like, sorry.
I laughed so hard because the mom was like, or no, wasn't the mom driving?
No,
who
the mom
was
was the passenger.
Oh,
And she was
okay.
like, tell him you love him. And he was like, he knows.
I know he's like, blow him a kiss, and he's like, he's had enough kisses.
Yeah, she's saying that about DJ, but about
Yeah.
Chowder, she was like, or I think it was the dad said something like, I bet you would be fine
Oh,
if he
yeah,
was
yeah.
under the car right
Yeah.
now. Like as
Yeah.
if like they find him annoying, and
Yeah.
if they took him out with a car, it's like that's maybe not such a bad thing.
No, I cackled that. I
Funny,
was
funny
like,
guy.
I do not remember this part. I don't remember him hitting the kid with the car because I was like, they didn't have backup cameras. That was dangerous.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, then like he rolls up the window and she's like, what are you doing? He's like,
He's
it's
doing-
aerodynamic.
Aerodynamics.
We're gonna go faster this way in our station wagon.
Yeah, very 80s. All right. Well, and then DJ. You guys were referring to Mitchell Musso. You know who that is?
Yeah.
It's the voice of DJ.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah,
Oh.
Hannah Montana.
Okay. Wow.
He said I wasn't watching Disney in those days.
Well, I looked up the voice actor list, I think last week when we were discussing, and there was a lot of very big names in this,
Mhm.
and I couldn't pinpoint anything while I was watching it. So I'd like to know who voiced what.
So I know Kevin James, which was Paul Blart Mall Cop. He was one of the cops.
It's a very 2006 cast. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I
Okay.
heard his voice and I was like, is that Kevin James? So of course I had to go and look it up. And also like Steve Buscemi, his voice stood out to me immediately.
Who was he?
He was the old man. He was
Okay,
the
I
Netter-
figured.
Netter
Okay.
Never
Cracker.
Cracker. Yeah.
Oh,
Never
and then
Cracker.
Maggie Gyllenhaal. She was
Gyllenhaal.
Elizabeth. But I
Z.
knew Z. I knew her immediately because
Okay.
they also made the character kind of look like her.
Mm.
And I was like, oh,
They
I was
do
like,
that sometimes with voice actors.
I was
yeah.
like, she definitely like sounded like her. Nick Cannon was the other cop, which I did not place. I
Mhm.
thought that it was sounded like someone. Yeah.
Okay, that was the only voice that I like kind of recognized as being like a bigger name. I was like, this is something that is familiar to me. So that was that. The other cop was the black cop was the only the only character that I was like, this is the only character I can recognize a voice for. So but I know that there was a lot of big names in this movie. I just
Mhm.
could not I had read it, but then when I watched the movie, I obviously like in one ear out the other, like from last week discussing it. I could not think of anything besides Nick Cannon.
Yeah, well, I felt like he was trying to do like an impression of Chris Rock.
That's exactly
That's
what I
it
thought.
reminded me of.
I was like, this isn't Chris Rock. I know it's Nick
yeah,
Cannon,
yeah.
but
I was
it
like, this
sounds
isn't
like
Chris Rock, but it's the
Yeah.
vibes. Yeah.
But I could not figure. I knew Mitchell Musso was in this. I could not figure out which character he was. So please tell me who he was.
He's DJ
Why does he sound like a child?
because they have to, because they're children. And I mean, this was 2006. He was a teenager, probably.
Was he still? Yeah, I don't know. I just like I couldn't like I even like at one point like closed my eyes while watching this movie to try and like I was like, I know there's big names in this movie from looking it up. And so I closed my eyes to try to listen and I was like, I cannot figure anything out from this movie.
Oh yeah, Mitchell Musso. So Mitchell Musso is my age. So that in 2006 he was like 15, 14.
He did not sound like he did on Hannah Montana.
Well, yeah, they're gonna change their voice a little bit.
Well, this was film. The motion capture work was done probably in 2004, 2005.
Prior to it,
Yeah.
releasing, yeah.
Yeah, so he
Uh,
would have been like 12 or 13, probably.
Well, and they joke about his voice cracking. So
yeah,
Yeah, the puberty thing. That's a
he
good
was like, I got a lot of puberty going on.
a very
I was like,
specific time in the actor's life
Yeah.
that they're doing this. So definitely under a bit of a time crunch in that way, but it ended up working out. So I think
Oh,
that this,
Catherine O'Hara. Sorry. I did not realize she was in this movie. She was the mom.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I did not realize that. It didn't sound like her to me.
I like her.
I love Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah,
I did
like-
not know it was her.
Well, see, I couldn't. I've seen the movie before, and then we talked about it, and I looked up the movie, and then of course came up the cast
list.
list, and I was like reading, and I was like, this is so popular, a lot of big names, and then I was like, this is crazy that it's so many big names, except that it's a movie that almost everyone at that age or in that time period has seen, but probably never thought about again. But like, actually, we should think about it because it was a pretty good movie. I actually enjoyed watching it. Like,
I feel like most people like it from
I-
at least that I know of.
I it's just not something that I would have thought about watching again until watching it today. Like,
I was feeling a little like skeptical about revisiting it because I mean I remember kind of enjoying it, but would I see upon seeing it again would I view it quite as fondly? But it definitely surpassed my expectations.
yeah, I feel the same. That's exactly how I feel. Like, I at the time when we were talking about it, I was like, I've seen it once. I never thought about it again. I don't care to see it again. But and then, we were like, well, let's do it for the podcast. So I was like, well, I'll go ahead and watch it. And then I was like, wait, like it's a little bit better than I remembered it being, and maybe because it was such a, I don't want to say a mature theme because it wasn't. It was definitely directed towards children, but there were a lot of like funny
It doesn't
part-
feel like a Disney movie. It doesn't.
no,
yeah.
no, it doesn't. It definitely felt like
no, has like dark tones. I mean, homegirl like dies in her basement.
it is very timeless. I mean, even at the very, very beginning, they hint to this old man dying on top of this child.
He
And so
dies, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I was like, what the heck? I'm like watching this movie today, and I'm into it. I'm like, this is not the movie that I watch, but it clearly is. But when you're younger, you're just like watching the movie, you're like waiting for like the next thing to happen. But as an adult, you're like thinking like, wow. So I would not consider this a Halloween classic. I would consider this something that is enjoyable to watch and good for it's a lot more, it's very family friendly, but also a lot more like interesting than a lot of other things that adults might be watching. There was a lot of like jokes that weren't inappropriate, but they were geared towards adults. That it was dark. It was kind of scary. Some parts, like I was like watching it, just thinking like a kid could watch this and just like have fun watching this, but an adult could watch this and be like, dang, like this is kind of good. So, well, I don't consider it a classic. I do feel like it is like a very, um, you know what? Like maybe like every 3 years, like it's good to revisit.
Yeah, it is I mean, you got to keep in mind it's a seasonal Halloween film, so that's always kind of an advantage for rewatchability purposes.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
funny that I find it funny that it was like in July. They're like, hey, here's a
I
trick-or-treating
didn't know
movie.
that. So that is interesting.
Yeah,
So
I didn't remember that it came out in July. I
that's
assumed it was a
crazy.
Halloween movie,
Right.
which
Which
I guess
of
it
course
is.
it is. Yeah.
it
It
works
just came out at
as
the wrong time.
just it works as a good popcorn thriller too. So
It's
it's
fine.
kind
I'll
of
watch it again in 3 years and enjoy it again.
mhm.
No, and I think maybe
Unless I have children. If I have children, I'll show them this one.
yeah, make them watch it. I mean, honestly, like Scarlett was more afraid of Nightmare Before Christmas than she was Monster House.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, Nightmare Before Christmas, that's kid friendly, and she was like 6 and was like, absolutely not. This is scary, and I was like, what?
I'm
Why?
just really dying to watch like Halloween Town. I'm just waiting for Philip to tell.
Yes, that's why when I was like Monster House or Halloween Town, we gotta pick
Can
one.
we do Halloween Town next?
Uh, I don't think so.
Have you
It's
seen Halloween Town?
no
Philip?
no more decoms. I think I'm gonna
We're done with it.
have to lay down the law.
We only did one decom. Hocus Pocus.
Well, actually, neither of those movies are technically decoms. But
Halloween Town wasn't?
Halloween Town, I think, is full blown.
Halloween Town is a decom.
No, it was never like a theater release or anything.
It
No, it was on
okay.
Disney Channel original movie.
Did it premiere on Disney Channel or ABC? It might have been ABC.
It was
I
Disney
thought it was
Channel.
Disney Channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Disney Channel.
It was like 1997,
We're
right? So
Let's see.
we've been fighting a lot on this stuff. So apologize to the listener for like talking over each other and stuff. I mean, I think it sounds fine.
They like it.
Yeah,
I love it.
you will like
All
it.
right. We can have them vote who they like best. Put a poll.
But
Put a
yeah,
poll.
comments
Yeah.
in the
Comment below.
visit, at Thoughtcast on Twitter and Instagram. Leave a comment.
I put Bridget and Lindsay against each other sometimes in photos just to see like what happens.
And we
Like,
never fight. It's just how
it's
it
just
goes.
funny. It's just like a joke, but it's just yeah. I'm sorry, Philip, for taking up your.
Leave a review on iTunes too, a 5-star review, so people can.
Not only if it's less than a 5-star, I'm contacting Jeff.
Well, it just doesn't help our analytics if it's less than 5-star. I don't
need
think.
to go review us now.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I should do
I'll
it
do it right now. Hold on.
because it really
Apple Podcasts, right?
yeah, just so that it can get served up to people via iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Like
You pop up immediately, so you must be popular.
well, as like a recommendation from the algorithm. I
How
probably
How do I rate things on here?
yeah, I don't know. I have to. Probably best to work on it later.
Figure it out. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Let's
So
see.
I there was a tidbit of information that I wanted to share with you guys because I didn't know if you knew about it. Apparently, so Monster House. Oh, I do want to add, I did not know Kathleen Turner was in this movie until you mentioned it, because apparently I didn't go that far. She was in my favorite movie, Drop Dead Fred.
Okay.
It's an obscure movie. If you haven't watched it, you should find it. It was probably not child appropriate, but it was my favorite. So unrelated. I didn't
know
realize.
I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred, but not Dropped It.
Yeah, Drop Dead Fred had I think Phoebe Cates was the main character. Kathleen Turner was like her overpossessive mother. And then there was, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a British actor and he's like her imaginary friend. It's a fun time. So however, though, moving on. Monster House apparently received a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah.
Of that year. And they lost to Happy Feet. Which honestly, Happy Feet was a great movie. So I
good actually.
it was so good.
Honestly.
It's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that decision.
Me and Sharon actually talk about that movie a lot because there's some good
that
scenes in
movie.
that one. We actually pull up the little scenes on the computer sometimes just to watch them for enjoyment. But
Oh yeah, like
good.
I like Brittany Murphy's Find Me Someone to Love by
Mhm.
Queen. I love that. And I'm
Okay.
like, "Ah, come on, Brittany Murphy.
Elijah Wood. I've seen that. I saw that once, and
I
it
had to put
was
it on the list.
super cringe when I saw. I mean, I was in my teens, and so it wasn't really my jam. But
Cringe. No, it is probably actually super cringe,
I
but
mean, they literally like ostracize him because he likes to dance.
you know what? Like, it's like good though. It doesn't mean it wasn't good. It could still be cringe and still be good.
yeah,
There were some parts of it that were like, "Eh," but then there were some parts of it that was like, this is cool. Penguins dancing. We love it.
I mean, it was by the creator of Mad Max, so it can't be all bad.
What?
Yeah, the guy who
What?
directed all the Mad Max films created Happy
Oh,
Feet. Yeah.
arrange. We love
He
that.
was like, I want to show my soft side. Let's have this penguin who loves to dance and his whole community hates him.
Exactly.
But they love him in the end.
Don't push me cause I'm
I'm
close
close
to
to
the
the
I mean,
edge.
what he probably ends up saving their entire civilization or something. He's like the chosen one archetype in that. Is that what eventually? I can't really remember, but
Well, he like because they all sing and they all have to have their
I know
special
he's
songs, and
ostracized. I know he's an
and they like
outcast,
ostracize him.
but usually when that happens to a character and then they go on a journey of self-discovery and then they come back as the Messiah, which I'm
yeah,
guessing is the
yeah.
case here.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, because it's been a minute since I've watched Happy Feet, which again we can do it for the podcast. But I
I'm down.
think it's like I don't know, like ice caps are melting, something's happening, there's a problem, they don't have food or something.
Mhm.
And so because he can dance and stuff, he goes and gets the attention of humans
Oh yeah,
to like help the civilization, and he saves them.
yeah, for sure.
So yes, he is the savior. Also, Halloween Town did air on Disney Channel, so it is a decom.
Okay.
I had to go find that. I needed to know.
We're not doing wait, we don't have very much time before Halloween. So Philip, what's our last one for the month?
That's a good question. I mean, I
It's
thought
your-
it'd be
your
fun
choice.
to like really crunch Wendell and Wild and like talk about it.
Do you
I don't
want
know,
to? I'm
Ooh.
down for that. I really want
Yeah. When does it come out?
the 20,
to.
yeah, the Friday the 28th, I believe, which
Do
means
you
we'd
want
have
to
to.
like do like a Monday episode?
That would
That's
be
Halloween.
Halloween Day.
Shit.
So weekend if but
Lakes.
okay. Well, I mean,
Why would they put it out so close to Halloween? That messes up our podcast.
we can maybe do it next year. That's fine. But we'll
You just do it the week of Halloween, just right after.
yeah. If Friday, Saturday, or Sunday does not work, then we'll do something else.
I mean, when does it come out?
It comes out next Friday.
Next Friday. Do we feel like we can cram it and I don't want Philip to feel pressured to put
I could do it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
I don't want you to feel like you need to like push an episode out though, because I know
Mm.
like
Wait, so what do we?
It'd be fun.
Okay,
It'd be
that's okay.
it'd be worth it because
you
I want
want
to see.
to. I mean, I'm down to try that out if you guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I plan on watching it anyways. I'm looking forward to it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
We'll have enough lead time to find out if it
I
absolutely
can't
does not.
believe Halloween's coming up so soon.
Yeah.
I
That'll
know.
be fun.
11 days. Like I don't even have my
October.
out.
October has flown by for me.
I
really
I have to. I think I'm. Well, I was like, do I want to watch the new Halloween movie on Peacock where I can watch it for free? I guess because I'm a subscriber. But it's like I want to see that kind of movie in like a movie theater.
Is it
Even-
the Halloween Ends or whatever?
Yeah, yeah. I'm wearing a
So-
John Carpenter t-shirt.
Oh.
I don't even see.
Fun, yeah, I can see it. So I've heard. Have you haven't read reviews? Have you?
I mean, it's gonna be terrible, but that's okay.
Yeah,
The last one was pretty terrible.
I saw so many people on on social media that were like, "What the crap?" They were like, some parts were good to them, but like the movie in its entirety, they were like, "No." And I was like, oh, do I want to watch it?
And Red
It's
Letter
like
Media,
Pinocchio.
yeah, Red Letter Media have a review up on YouTube, and I want to see it before I watch that. So that'll get me, to the movie theater if I have to go there. Or I don't know. I'll probably just end up watching it at home because I'm lazy.
Hey,
Same. I feel that.
you know what, Philip? Me and Jody, we went on a walk yesterday, and we said Philip should come and stay in Augusta for a little bit. For a
Yeah,
weekend.
I definitely will. I just you know need
I
to
know.
save up a little more money, I think, and
Hey,
you know,
you just got to get your plane ticket. We'll cover the rest. Don't even worry about it.
I yeah. I'll I do need to like move to some place that isn't,
Don't move here. Just come visit. And you know what?
No,
We
yeah, just move. We
No.
want you to come visit, move.
actually, I mean, yeah, yes, move here, but also at the same time, don't feel like you. We were just like, Philip should come visit, like, come be here for like a couple days, and you all you have to do is like I mean, Jody has like 20 billion like rooms in her house.
Well,
And
yeah.
I have a spare room as well, but like at the same time, like you probably want to stay with Jody, but
No, I just yeah, I'm planning my escape from rural
are you
Minnesota
trying to
now
get
that
out of
COVID's
there?
over. So, I mean, it'd probably end up moving back to Hollywood or something, but
Yeah, I hope so for you, but
you
still
know,
come take a swing over here. I mean, I wouldn't
yeah.
move like if I had a choice, like I would like leave.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I'm stuck, but yes, we like let's do a live show.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Augusta's also cheap.
I'll even book the venue. Like we'll just do one here because people will just show up to things in Augusta that are live for like no reason. So we could do a
Oh,
live show. It'll be great.
I wasn't
They'll be
even
like, what are we
thinking.
here for?
Yeah, they don't care. I've gone to things. I've gone to things that I don't know what's going on, and I've had a great
Yeah,
time.
she
So.
paid $10 so to go see the smallest lady.
Yeah, I thought you just meant
No,
recording in the same room.
I mean like sitting on a stage and like talking about something in front of a live audience. You don't like that idea?
Well, I mean, you guys have connections to venues and things like, so you'd probably be able
Oh.
to find people to come. I
Oh,
know I couldn't.
no, that doesn't matter. Like all we could do is say like there's gonna be a live show. We don't even have to say what it's about. People would just show up. I swear. I
Really?
swear.
Hey, we can do it at Limelight. There you go. They have a little stage area, right?
No, not since COVID. That used to be my karaoke
Oh,
spot.
I know. We used to go.
I'm thinking Leshat.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
That'd be the
The
best.
Chat is a little black box theater.
They do
in
stuff
town.
there. I went to a show there. I didn't know what was going on, and it ended up being the best time of my life. So
Okay.
I got you. I got you. When you come here, we'll plan something.
Well, my old professor like is one of the like part owners of Le Chat, so we definitely could get in there.
I have connections there as well. So
Sweet.
Look at us. We know everyone.
Well, this has
Here.
been
if you want to come to Augusta, we got you a live podcast show, housing, and I got plenty of ramen I can feed you.
yeah. But not to be transparent in any attempt to sort of wrap things up, but
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Honestly.
in this
Like,
Wendell and Wild journey we've been on discussing Monster House from 2006, there's maybe a few more things we'll say here, but I definitely, it's more of an edgy film for kids, which I certainly appreciated as a kid, and even watching it now, I like, when I don't know, and it is sort of a throwback to sort of the Goonies, that Amblin aesthetic from the 80s. You see a lot now with like the Karate Kid show on Netflix, for example. They do, characters do say, shit and things like that. And they just used to do that casually in kids films, basically from the 80s, because they hadn't focus tested film to death and determined that parents don't like it when they hear minor curses in films, and that can lead to lower box office. It doesn't really matter though, because if a movie's good, people will show up to see it, and sure, if something's safe and it's sanitized and just, manufactured in a lab, like a lot of the crap you see from, Illumination to name drop, but your Despicable Me's
Not
and
the Minions.
yeah, that's all slurry. I don't know. There's perhaps some redemptive, moments throughout, woven throughout some of these things, but nowadays everything is just kind of very safe and manufactured. But this felt a little bit like it was, telling something from a point of view. Dan Harmon was one of the writers, creator of Community, famed TV producer, kind of a controversial figure too in Hollywood. But he's just got a very strong personality, and it kind of comes through in this show where the characters do behave like real people for the most part.
I thought that too. I'm glad that you like kind of mentioned that, because it did seem kind of like
Authentic.
normal children, like
Yeah.
the way a regular person would react, versus being like, I'm going to just accept the fantasy of this. It was like very much like, this is not correct. This is not the way that things
Goofy.
go. So
Yeah.
that
There's
was a good,
a lot
I
of
don't know
suspension.
though.
Mhm.
I felt like DJ was not traumatized enough by that old man dying on top of him. I was like, he's like surprisingly chill. This old man just fell over on top of him and he thinks he's dead. And
What
he's just
would
like,
you
I have
do? It's shock, baby. It's shock.
I know. He was like, I have blood on my hands. I guess we got to go mess with this creepy house now.
Gotta go
And I was-
figure out the house now.
Hey, that's why they did not mind blowing up the house with people in it. Okay.
Yeah.
He was
And
like, I'm a trained killer at this point.
didn't he see the dog get eaten before that too? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it gets like lapped
He
up
was
by the
seeing-
house.
Okay, so here's the thing: is that he had his little
Binoculars.
telescope and had
Yeah.
been
Telescopes.
watching the yard like suck in anything that was like left, and then he was like, "All right, bet here I go." Like he's like 23rd tricycle this week. Like, give me a break, man. No, but it is a good point to say, like, it wasn't like they still recognize that this was not like a usual occurrence, even though
Yeah.
to them in the movie it was a usual occurrence because he had been tracking it. However, they still reacted as like being scared and hesitant and not necessarily wanting to like immediately go explore until they had to. So that was a very like humanizing personality trait that they did give the characters that I actually didn't know until you just said that. So
DJ
very
and
good
Chowder, yeah, they're scared to
Yeah.
death of going into the house,
Right.
and then going on to the I mean, requires a fair amount of suspension of disbelief when this guy's apparently stealing toys from kids and breaking tricycles, and it's like when parents like call the police or they'd approach
That's
the
what
house,
I said.
have it
I
searched.
was
Yeah,
like,
makes no sense.
yeah, I was like, if an old man took my like 5-year-old's bike and broke it and took it in
Exactly.
his house, I would be like, sir, can you give it back and actually give me money for a new one?
They didn't know though. And that was another thing, is that they didn't know.
Were they not telling the parents?
The kid would tell the
No, well, they're children. And then also, if your like little like child comes to you and said, "The yard ate my bike," like you're not gonna believe that. You're not gonna believe that.
No, the old man took it though. The old man
It's-
broke it.
Okay, so it's just a neighborhood full of like, rich dentists and pharmacists, so like they don't care that there's
They're like,
kid
we'll
stuff.
buy another
Yeah,
one.
they'll just buy another one. That makes a little sense.
I guess that's true. But yeah,
Also,
I mean,
like,
I
how
would
did
be like, where's my bike?
How did this house get away? Like once old man Nieberknocker, whatever his name was, like like when he went to
Netterbreaker?
the hospital.
Yeah, you have to be careful how you say that.
Well, I don't know.
Ned
What was his name?
it was hold
Okay,
on, I'm going back.
it's Nevercracker, which
Nevercracker.
one of those is already an ethnic.
Old man. Okay, old man in the movie. When
Steve
he
Buscemi.
When he goes to the hospital, which I'm like, they think he's dead, but obviously he's just at the hospital getting repaired. but then the house like kind of goes feral while he's gone. The house is going feral anytime something happens. Where is the rest of the neighborhood? Like there are things happening midday where like how is these kids are screaming bloody murder and like
They're at work.
like peeping out the window. Like a car pulls up into the parking lot of my apartment complex and I'm like already like at the window, like who is that? Like these kids are screaming and
Yeah.
this house is like putting its shingles out in the road and like flipping up like the sidewalk and like nobody notices. Like
Well, it was the
that was
80s.
sketchy to me.
It was the
Yeah,
80s.
it was
they,
the 80s.
they didn't have cell phones.
There was no work from home. Yeah, there was no
Fair
work
enough.
from home back then.
Fair enough.
But also, whenever the supernatural occurs, it creates a bit of a rift in reality and like a bubble of, nether reality. Like they're basically in sort of a semi-realized version of the upside down when all this stuff happens, and just in general in horror movies and things like that. So I guess maybe there's just some kind of Gaussian blur applied to the whole
Fair enough. That's a good
neighborhood.
point. I guess I didn't think about that. I was just like, how is like nobody like noticing these kids are like screaming and this sidewalk is like detaching itself.
No,
I
that's
guess
just
it makes sense that like
yeah.
honestly like bystander effects like style just like not my problem. But I don't know. I don't know.
I'm totally overthinking
It's also like an animated movie, so
Well, and I think like it's kind of like the adults don't notice as well, which you see a lot in like movies and stuff like this. Is like
Toy
the adults have
Story.
no idea. Yeah, the adults don't know what's
yeah.
happening. Only the
And
kids
the
do,
kid-
and then they tell the
kid's telling-
parents, and they
kid
don't
is
believe
telling
them.
me this, yeah.
Yeah.
Which they I guess they did show with like the police where the kids were like, "This is happening," and they were like, "You're going to jail." So yeah, I guess it does make sense, but at the same time, I don't know. I was like, how could like these kids are screaming? Why is nobody hearing these children scream? Like,
I said, not my kids, not my problem.
not
okay?
my kids, not my problem, not my monkeys, not my circus. Like, I understand. I get it. I get it. I understand. But at the same time, I was like, but yeah, I did enjoy the movie. I would probably watch it again one day in July. We'll bring it back.
So it's a nice quick watch. And currently streaming on Freevee. Let's see. The the vulva joke.
That was my favorite part of the entire movie. I wanted to bring that up.
Yes. And it reminded me of something I wanted to mention during the Scary Godmother episode, where in that when the monsters are freaking out the bullies, there it zooms into one of their mouths and the uvula is screaming as well. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was
I don't remember whose mouth it was though.
Yeah, when it like goes in, I'm like that.
I think it was the girl, Katie or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it zoomed in on her mouth and the uvula had its own little.
My favorite part of Monster House was, and like I with Sean came home and I said, I got to do the podcast tonight on Monster House, and I was like, have you seen it? And he's like, yeah, I saw it once. And I said, oh my God, this part in the movie was so funny. It said, they thought it was the heart of the house, but it was like the uvula, and the girl was like, that's the uvula. And then Chowder said, oh, so it's a girl house. And Sean said, yeah, I remember that part. And I was like, like, what do you mean you remember that part? Like, you watched this as a child? How do you even like I like that would have flown right over my head. But like watching that, I'm like, my like tummy is like trying like not to cackle right now because I think that was so funny. Like, so it's a girl house, like, and she said everyone has a UV.
And he's like, oh
no,
yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
I did not catch that at all. And then we watched it and I was like,
that was my favorite part of the entire movie. Like him saying, oh, so it's a girl house. Like, because it was a girl house, but like also like they're
Not for the
talking about,
reasons
like,
he thought so.
that like little dangly thing in the back of your throat. Like,
And Chowder says that he got accepted at the prep school.
it's a
An
school.
all girls school.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's why I didn't go.
Okay, this movie actually, like, it did have me laughing out loud. There was some really like funny parts of it that like I probably wouldn't have like recognized as funny when I first watched it, but I was watching it
Mhm.
today and I was like, haha, funny. Like, which has honestly been happening a lot more with the movies that we've been discussing. And I think it's just because like I'm an adult and I'm like realizing that
They slip stuff in there for the adults.
they do put stuff in there for adults. Like, I'm now realizing that I did not
Yes.
realize as a child.
Have you guys watched Cat in the Hat as an adult? The one with
Oh.
Mike Myers?
Oh my gosh.
You should. You should because
I'm-
it's crazy.
I'm friends with you know, the guy that is Beans on Even Stevens. I'm friends with him
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Nice.
like Facebook friends. I've like chatted with him once or twice. He's in that movie. That's what made me think of it.
Yeah. But have you watched it since you've been an
Not
adult?
as
Because
like
you
a
should.
grown-up. I'm scared.
I watched it when I was like 10 in the movie theater with my parents.
That movie already like made me uncomfortable. I haven't seen it in a while. Is it on
You-
anything?
I don't know, but you do know that the Dr. Seuss like foundation, they won't let people make live action movies because of that movie.
Hmm.
Yeah. They weren't a fan.
Hey, no,
Yeah,
that movie was good though. It was fine.
it's
was
regular fodder for like YouTubers and podcasts. It is rendered a punchline nowadays.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wait, can we cover it one day?
maybe.
Is it like untouchable?
I've only seen it once, and it's probably like I would just probably find it kind of fascinating seeing it again. I'm sure I wouldn't like it.
Maybe we
Oh,
should.
it has Dakota Fanning in it. I forgot she was a
Yeah,
little
maybe
girl
we
and she was like
try
a
that.
child.
Maybe that should be like, okay, we'll do Wendell and Wild. Whatever.
Wendell and Wild.
That's what it's called, right? I keep feeling like I should call
Yes.
it Wild and Wendell, but it's Wendell and Wild, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Wendell and Wild.
That's what I thought. We should do that, and then let's do Cat in the Hat. If I can wait,
I'm
only
trying
if
to
I
find if we can watch
figure
it.
out a way to watch it because
It's on Netflix. Wait, no. Yes, it's on Netflix. Just
No,
kidding. It's on Netflix.
is it?
It says it
Is
is. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, Philip, have you guys done Shrek? Also,
Oh, I haven't talked about Shrek here. No.
no, that's
Hmm.
a favorite of mine.
I love
Mhm.
I love
You
Shrek.
guys want to do that?
Of course. Yeah, we got to do
You know
Shrek.
what? I'm just gonna start creating a list, and then if you guys ever get like bored of like or like not knowing what to talk about, I'll just send you my list of like it's gonna be like Shrek.
Oh, that's good because
It'll be bad. It'll be bad things. that
I
if
It'll
hate
be
having-
Shrek
yeah.
1, Shrek 2,
Shrek-
Shrek
yeah.
3. The whole
Yeah,
list is just Shrek.
Shrek the musical. Oh yeah, it'll be it all.
Have you watched that?
I
Because I
saw-
did.
Okay, so I saw like some crazy like YouTube version of. Is that what we're talking about?
No,
What?
I watched there was a version on like Netflix or something.
Oh,
It was
no,
like the actual version.
Of
Sean,
what?
can you hear me?
Shrek the musical. I guess she watched like a
Hold on,
weird
hold
version on
No,
YouTube.
I think I might have watched the real one. Sean.
Okay.
Oh no, he got his headphones and he can't hear me. I'm trying to figure out which one hold on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I'll just chat to you guys which one I did watch. I did watch some kind of stage production of Shrek that was like had me like cracking up. I thought that it was on YouTube, but it might have been the Netflix one. But Sean can't hear me because I told him I was doing podcasts, so he
But yeah, and we got to wrap this up. So
Yeah.
I think we're
yeah,
ready for
I had to go like 20 minutes ago.
yeah.
but
Any final things to say, Alex, about Monster House?
Monster House, I'm happy that I watched it. It made me laugh. My favorite joke was so it's a girl house. Period. End of sentence. Don't ask me for social media. I will not share.
And yeah, for me, it was probably when the dad, Fred Willard, backed into the chowder and said just the aside to the wife, I bet you wish he were under the car right now. that was such. I remember that more clearly now, and I'm pretty sure it was the dad who said that.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
yeah.
Yeah. He was like,
Anyways.
you wish you'd under the car, right? And she was like, just say bye.
And yeah, the
no,
awkward interaction with DJ, that was also very, a nice touch.
No, I mean, I mean, obviously, I love this movie. I recommended we do it. So, I mean, I watched it in high school and I was like, this slaps. I love this. But it's like one of those movies that you don't expect the story to go where it goes. Like, it's like, oh, it's kind of like a love story, and he saved this chick, and then she died because people were mean to her, and now she's the evil house. So yeah. It's a fun Halloween movie for me. I love it. I'm like, watch it. You guys are watching it.
Well, I hope Constance found peace in the end. Was there a reference like, okay, you see there, okay, yeah, her spirit does appear after the house
Mhm.
explodes.
Yeah, she
and,
like
Goes up,
dances
she,
with
like-
the old guy.
yeah,
And she dissipates.
there we
Mhm.
go. Happy ending.
Yeah, blow up the
Yes, it
house,
was a happy
help her
ending.
pass on, and everyone lives.
Yeah, there were a few things they had to do to maintain a PG rating, like bring back the characters who got eaten, for example. So
Oh, I like how Bones was intoxicated in the
Yeah.
movie, but
Yeah.
they're just like, we're just not gonna have any labels on this random bottle he's drinking out of.
all right. Well, thank you. Did you mention your social media handles?
Go
Oh, I
Bridget.
did not. Alex isn't going to give you one, but you can always find her on mine. Mine is Bridget. That's Bridge with a T, 5246, and that's my Instagram.
Wonderful. All right. Well, find the Thoughtcast. We're streaming on various podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Hosted on SoundCloud, among others, and Thoughtcast.com. Find us there, or at Thoughtcast on Twitter and Instagram. Find me, Philip Elke, at Philip Elke on Twitter and Instagram. Links in show notes to the social media as well. All right. Well, thank you so much, Bridget and Alex. This is really fun. I can't imagine doing the show without you guys. So please, I'm looking forward to the next one, whatever we're able to manage and in the remainder
Wild.
We'll figure it out.
yeah of the spooky season. Exciting. But yeah, so last week I invoked the second of the two Scary Godmother TV specials in the sign off, so I think I'll do so again today now that Bridget's here. But wishing everyone here a magical day and a wonderful week, of course, and also a happy Halloween to all, and to all a good fright.
Oh, warm hugs. Warm hugs.
Warm hugs.
Hey, it's cold here, so
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It is
warm
cold
hug.
here.
It's cold.
Yeah.
I'm cold right now. I should put on socks.